I mean, if you'll indulge me for 30 seconds on a personal level, this is a little bit like having the tailor come out and say, yeah, actually, there are no new clothes. You remember in the fairy tale of the Emperor's New Clothes? This is, from where I'm sitting, the boy in the crowd pointing at the naked emperor, wondering why everybody around him still insisted that the emperor was wearing clothes. You now have the tailor on the stage explaining how he pulled off the greatest, or not, it's not the con, is it? Explaining that the emperor was naked all along. And yet, I don't know how many people in the crowd are still arguing or insisting that, no, even if the person who was in the room when the emperor got dressed is explaining how there are no clothes, people in the crowd are still insisting that there are clothes. It is objectively bizarre. And at this point in proceedings, I got another hour and 45 minutes, but at this point in proceedings, I can't actually get my head around it. And I was prepared for an anticlimax. Fully prepared, even expecting an anticlimax. So, you know how I love my analogies. This bloke was in the robing chamber. At every turn, he was, if like me, you're a fan of Hamilton, he was in the room where it happens. Every single minute of every single day at this absolutely crucial juncture in our country's history. And he is now saying, all of those people who said that the emperor was naked, they weren't just right, they were more right than even they could ever have imagined. It was an absolute skip fire. It's as if you've sat here for, I mean, if you bring Brexit into it, for 5 years. If you bring the Johnson leadership into it, then you just go back to December 2019. And you've sat here pointing it out, expressing and explaining, fearing and sharing the absolute catastrophe that's being visited upon our country by putting this man in Downing Street. And now the man that put him there is confirming all of your worst fears. And you still have a very real sense of it not mattering. I'm beginning to wonder whether it's actually our fault. The people who've been telling the truth about Boris Johnson have simply not done a good enough job. And now Dominic Cummings is telling the truth about Boris Johnson, and I suspect that he will... I don't know. He'll be subsumed in a sea of lethargy as well. He's now said it was, and I quote, completely crackers that people like himself and Boris Johnson were in charge, and they let down talented, more junior colleagues in a case of lions led by donkeys. Unbelievable. And yet, all too believable.